Hello ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, Gambo here, and welcome back to another game on the PTR server with the pre-patch to Warlords of Draenor 6.0.2. And as I promised, this time we will try out how well Elemental Blast works on level 90. And I have to admit that I did a little mistake in some of my older videos, because, or some of my last videos to Warlords of Draenor or patch 6.0.2, because I said that I would think that Elemental Blast would be stronger than Lightning Bolt. And what I said was depending on the information or the knowledge I have from Mist of Pandaria. But maybe you already recognize it, that Elemental Blast isn't as strong as it was in the past. And with the past I mean Mist of Pandaria, because in Mist of Pandaria, to be honest, when I would just compare the raw numbers that I did with Elemental Blast compared to Lightning Bolt in PvP, yeah, some of the strongest hits I did with full buff, benefiting from every possible source to improve my agility, my attack power, my spell power, whatever, to get the highest possible damage out of it. Then the strongest hits I've did with Lightning Bolt were somewhere about 50k, 60k, maybe 70k. But this is nothing comparable to this is nothing that I would make it competitive against Elemental Blast, because some of the Elemental Blast hit crits that I did were somewhere above 220, 230, 240, even somewhere about 260k. So yeah, just for the raw numbers, Elemental Blast 3 times stronger. Let's say it was twice or 3 times stronger than Lightning Bolt, and this is something that has changed, or it looks that it changed when it comes to Warlords of Draenor, because right now, when I checked the description before this game, the description for Elemental Blast told me that my Elemental Blast would do a basic damage of 2,909 points of damage, where my Lightning Bolt would do a basic damage of 2,550 points of damage. So you'll see, even on the paper, Lightning Bolt is far stronger than Elemental Blast, and this is some kind of surprise, to be honest, to me, because I really thought it would be still far stronger than Lightning Bolt. Or let's say it this way, at this point I don't know if this is the final, let's say, version of Elemental Blast, because we should not forget there is still a few weeks to go until Warlords of Draenor will arrive on the live server, or to the release date. So it might be that some things will change. Even when you do compare some of the patch notes between Warlords of Draenor closed beta server and Warlords or patch notes on the beta server to the patch notes on the PTR server, you will see that they can be very different. For example, the first level 100 talent for shamans will improve the damage of some of your shocks, and it improves the damage on the PTR server. It improves the damage on a level of 75%, where on the beta server I think it is so that it improves only or that it improves the damage of your shocks only by 45%. So you'll see it's difficult right now. It's difficult for me to say which is right and what is wrong. It's a little bit tricky, and I also checked some information on different forums like Icy Veins, like Blizzard, Just a common stuff. And yeah, it's difficult to say how well or yeah what will be with or how strong in the end Elemental Blast will be, because in some sources it interacts far better with spell power. It benefits like 250% from it, and in other different in other sources that I've found, it benefits only to something about 200% of spell power. So you'll see, to be honest, I don't get it. I don't understand it. To how well it will work, or how well it is, or what it will be, and whatever. It's really confusing right now for me, because even on some even on the basic numbers, I don't know. It's I don't get it. I absolutely don't get it. But because even on the raw numbers, even with the lowest stat or lowest improvement from spell power, it looks for me so that even then Elemental Blast should be stronger than Lightning Bolt, but it isn't. So this is the point where it gets a little bit confusing for me. So yeah, I can't tell you how well it will work until I have the opportunity to experience it by myself on level 100. But for here and now, just for when we just look on the damage that Elemental Blast is able to do, it is weaker compared to Lightning Bolt. So yeah, a little bit sad, but okay. And we should also not forget that we get a buff. We get a buff from when we do use Elemental Blast. We do get a buff from it, which will improve or we have a chance to get a buff, which can improve our critical strike chance, our mastery, our haste, our multi-strike chance, or increase our agility. So yeah, it's still the question how well this improves our damage. It's like I said, just for the raw numbers, it looks like Lightning Bolt is stronger. Not slightly stronger, but I wouldn't say that it's far stronger than Elemental Blast. Just for an example, I think some of the highest crits I did with Elemental Blast lay something about 13k, yeah, and some of the highest crits I did with Lightning Bolt lies something about 15 to 16k. So it's a difference of 2,000 to 3,000 points of damage between both of these talents for level 90 and for PTR patch 6.0.2. So yeah, it's really difficult for me to say how good or how bad Elemental Blast is right now. Just for a raw number, it isn't anymore as hard as it was. And we also should not forget that by using Elemental that compared to when we do compare Elemental Blast to Lightning Bolt, then yeah, Lightning Bolt does more damage, but we do not get the buff from it. But we also do not get the long cooldown after using it. Yeah, I mean, we are able to constantly cast Lightning Bolt as much as we want, as much as we are able to handle the mana loss. As long as we have mana, we can cast it without a break. Yeah, it's a different story when it comes to Elemental Blast, because Elemental Blast, after using it, you get a cooldown of, what was it? What is it right now? 10 to 12 seconds. So after you used it, you have to wait something about 10 to 12 seconds until you can use it again. So Yeah, it's... to be honest, right now I don't see it. I don't see it that I will use this talent for PvP, depending on the information or experience I could get until now. But it's like I said, I need to wait until I will be able to experience it by myself in the best way. That I mean, the best experience I could get is to get level 100 Enhancement Shaman with full PvP gear. Then I would be able to say is it worth it or is it not. Right now, hard to say. I don't know. Really, I don't know. I mean, 12k it's still a good solid hit, but it's not as compared to that. I could do also something about 16k with a lightning bolt. So yeah, it's like I said, it's a little bit confusing. But we also shouldn't forget we still get the buff, yeah, and it's the same thing with the buff. When we do get, let's say for an example, the buff for multi-strike, then we get, what was it, 21 points, which is something about 9%. Or this buff increases our multi-strike chance to 9%. Or we get increased after we get the buff, our multi-strike chance will increase by 9%, which is a lot. So this is something we should not underestimate. Like this rogue, I mean, this rogue is really annoying. Tries to get away on really hard, and finally he did it. So yeah, but I haven't forgot about this rogue. Sooner or later I make him pay. And also right now the PvP on the PTR server is it's tricky. It's tricky because most of the games right now I only finding two types of games. In one type of the game, the Horde will dominate the Alliance, like here, absolutely. On the other hand, the same thing will happen to the Horde, so yeah, it's difficult to have balanced games right now, because most of the time they are like this. They are only, for now, the only games I got from the PTR server are like where we dominate the Horde, the Alliance like hell, or get dominated by them like hell. So yeah, not the best experience when it comes to PvP, but still an experience and not bad at all. But for now, I have also to say that I don't think that when it won't change, yeah. As long as for now, I think Elemental Blast is a little bit too weak. Yeah, I don't think that it's still worth it to use it for PvP, because back in MOP we used it because it was a very hard hitter. Yeah, it was better than Unleashed Fury, and not as limited as Primal Elementalist was. So yeah, was the best talent for us to use in PvP, or it was the best talent for me to use in PvP. But it isn't anymore as good as it was in Mist of Pandaria. Right now, I think for level 90 talent, I think I will go with Primal Fury compared to or Unleashed Fury compared to when I do compare it to Elemental Blast. It's a Elemental Blast right now, a little bit unsatisfying, because it isn't anymore as it doesn't anymore hit as hard as it did in the past. So yeah, I really don't know how to deal with that right now. So yeah. But yeah, it is what it is, and but it's also like I said, we need to wait, or I need to wait until I get to level 100, get full PvP gear, and then maybe then it will change, and it might even change in the next few days or maybe in the next few weeks, because like I said, we're still in closed beta or PTR server, and when you just compare the different patch notes to each other, you recognize they in one patch they improve the damage of, for example, elemental blast or lightning bolt, and in the next patch they decreasing it by a lot, not just for something about 5% or 10. No, in some patch they increased, I think they increased the damage by something about 60-70% for elemental blast, and in the next patch they decreased it by something about 60%. So yeah, it's not only a little bit weird, but also a little bit confusing to say what it will be in the final version. And also for here and for now, is also something, I would say right now it's too soon to say what it will be in the final version. And maybe, I mean, maybe also the new perk system, which which will be introduced with Warlords of Draenor for the first time, as far as I know, or as far as I remember, in World of Warcraft. Maybe also this will have some improvements for Elemental Blast. I mean, I don't know. For now, it looks like Elemental Blast is it's a little bit too weak or not worth it. But we don't know what it will be in the future. So yeah, there are still things that will change, and there are still things we have to experience by reaching the max level 100, and also getting some gear for PvP, and then maybe then we will be in the right position to say that it's worth it, or I will be in the right position to say, yeah, it is worth it or it's not worth it. Right now, for here and for now, what I can tell you is that it isn't anymore the hard hitter that it was in Mist of Pandaria, and yeah, that's all. But also, like I said, maybe also the perk system. There are also a few things that can and will or will not change. We don't know. We have to wait, and we have to see what will come. I would wish also that some of the final talents would change for Enhancement Shaman, or for Shaman at all, because there are some talents that I don't like. I mean, the whole primal elementalist story, I never was a fan of it. I never liked the idea of using this primal elementals for combat, because they were too limited. I mean, by using the primal fire elemental, it wasn't bad. It was yeah, this thing is strong as hell. Also for PvP, it does hell of a damage. But there were also moments where I hate it. I really did, and this has something to do with the whole situation for totems. I still think that the totems aren't the best way for a shaman to be still in the game. I still have the feeling like they are not anymore as up to date as they were once. And I think that Blizzard should maybe even remove them from the game, because they don't feel anymore as useful as they were. I mean, look at this. I have to follow. I have to run behind this paladin, and yeah, every totem that I would use in this time, from the point where our combat started to the point where it ended, it would be wasted. Yeah, even even a big elemental totem would just vanish after it traveled such a distance, and this is the main problem I have with them. So I can tell you even right now that I don't think that I will ever try to use the wind or air totem or level 100 air elemental totem for PvP, because I think it's too limited. Yeah. Your opponent, when it runs out of range, of the totem range, then yeah, this totem will vanish, and this is such a disadvantage, because yeah, you just lose a 5-minute cooldown without a good use. I mean, yeah, okay, the air totem is not as limited as the fire totem, because the fire totem was, yeah, some kind of hybrid damage dealer. It did, but the most damage it did and it does it in close combat. Maybe it's a different story with the air totem, because maybe it's just it does the full damage on range, yeah, like caster. So hard to say for now what it will be or how useful it will be, but yeah, it's like I said, I'm still not a fan of the whole totem story, because it is what it is. It's just a bad feeling that I have. Yeah, this is nothing that has to do with the game. It's just a bad feeling that I have by using totems. Yeah, because it's a bad feeling. Yeah? I can't describe it. It's just a bad feeling for me. Maybe there are people, or maybe I'm absolutely sure that there are far more skilled enhancement players than I am, and they are absolutely fine with the whole story about totems, and they don't even, not even for a second, are concerned about it. But this is my opinion of it, and it is what it is. In the end, I have to deal with that. So yeah, it is what it is. But ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, so we are not only coming to the end of this game, we are also coming to the end of this video. So I hope you like what you saw. If you did so, then share some love with the thumb up button. Also feel free to subscribe to my channel, and all that's left to say from my side is, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, thank you for your attention. Until next time, here your Super Gambo.